Welcome to the Leadership and Learning Podcast with Dr. JBT, where we dive deep into the art of leadership for emerging and advancing leaders. Whether you're just starting out or looking to sharpen your skills, this podcast is your go-to resource. We'll explore real-world scenarios, actionable solutions, and expert advice with insights drawn from Dr. JBT's own experiences and interviews with seasoned leaders. If you're serious about growing as a leader, you've come to the right place. Welcome to Leadership and Learning with Dr. JBT. This is a special episode for Father's Day. I shared with my dad a few months ago that I was starting this podcast and I wanted to interview him. Unfortunately, my dad passed away unexpectedly last month, so I didn't get to record him. But to honor him and his legacy, this episode will share what he would have shared with you. My dad worked for the same company for 43 years. In fact, he did the same job. He turned down promotions into management because he wanted to make sure he could coach my soccer teams, attend recitals, and be present for my sisters and me, and eventually the grandkids. He truly lived a great work-life balance. My dad was not a leader because he had a title. He was a leader because he had influence, and he had great influence in his work, with his clients, with his friends at church or his neighbors, and especially with his daughters and grandkids. So, what would he say if he were being interviewed right now? First and foremost, he would say, Jamie, know everyone's name. He was truly impressive in how he could remember everyone's name. I didn't get to observe him on the job, but I watched him at church with his neighbors in the assisted living. And every time I visited him at the assisted living where my mom stays, we would walk through the hallways and he would wave to each person, whether resident or staff, and say hello by name, and then comment or ask a question about something unique to them. I remember asking him how he could possibly remember everyone's name. And this is what he said. This is his wisdom. He said, I carry a piece of paper with me, and after I meet someone, I write down their name, where I met them, and one thing I learned about them. And that's how I remember. He always said that it made people feel special, known, and seen if you called them by their name. And he wanted to make people feel special, known, and seen. He had influence because he knew people's names, and that was significant. It showed people that he cared enough to remember, that they mattered to him. Whose name do you need to remember? Secondly, he was the best listener. He gave 100% attention to people when he was in conversation with them. I remember him saying, there's enough distraction in this world that I want people to know I hear them. And he would set his phone down, physically turn to them, make great eye contact, ask engaging questions, and listen. I agree that in this day and age, there are so many distractions for us. Active listening is truly a gift, and he gave that gift freely to everyone he met. Whoever was talking to him became the most important person in that moment, and they felt that way. He had influence because he valued what people had to say without judgment. He knew it was important that people felt heard. For me, this one is really hard for me. I'm the master of multitasking, and I enjoy it. But I need to remember the impact of active listening without distraction and its impact on team members. So I ask you, what distraction do you need to set aside so you can actively listen to your team? Now, this last one is in two parts. One of the phrases he said the most to me my entire life, Jamie, joy is a choice. Choose it. He did his job for 43 years because it brought him joy. He truly loved what he did. He didn't think it was worth it to have a job that didn't contribute to his joy. And I find myself often asking team members if the job brings them joy. And if it doesn't, choose a job that does. I have a sign next to my computer that says, do what brings you joy, because it is my choice. And if we don't do what brings us joy, it can really be painful for everyone around us. People know when leaders don't enjoy their job. Choose joy by choosing a job that you love. Now, we don't always love 100% of the aspects of our job. I don't know if anyone does, but we should enjoy the majority of it. So choose a job you love, and you will have joy, and people will notice that in you. The second portion of joy is a choice, choose it, has to do with outside of work. My dad worked hard, and he lived life to its fullest. He knew that to enjoy his work, he needed to enjoy his world outside of work too. He committed to summer camping trips with us every year. He loved vacations to pretty much any beach. He enjoyed reading novels and so much more. So I ask you, what do you do outside of work that brings you joy, because it matters. When people around you see the joy in your life, in and outside of work, there is an emotional contagion that occurs, and it influences people. I hope you can take some learning from my father, who never held a leadership position with a formal title at work, but led through influence. Know people's names, practice active listening. Joy is a choice. Choose it. Thank you, Dad, for this learning, and happy Father's Day to any fathers listening. This is Leadership and Learning with Dr. JBT, signing off.